here is a small test. So I'm going to be talking about automated testing. And this is a small announcement. So it's a small library that's created by a JetBrains employee. I believe the library already exists for Groovy, and they ported that to Kotlin. That's what I understand. But I'm not a Groovy developer, so I can't verify that. So one thing you do traditionally is you have like an array, and then you have an array of hello world twice, and you check that hello world is in there. Hello one and hello two. Okay, so this is how you would traditionally write a unit test with JUnit. And of course it fails.
Well, yeah, because you said hello world, and then you had hello one and hello two. Yeah, so the test is going to fail.
Very good. Thanks.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was on purpose.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, so
it was. Of course, it was on purpose. Yeah. Of course, it was on purpose.
Good job.
Yeah, it was naturally. On purpose. Okay, so the problem here is with that assert contains method. So at the moment, why do I use that and not just? Why can't I just write hello one in list of hello one and hello two? Why can't I just write that in my test? Because if I wrote that in my test and put like an assert true on with it,
you're
error
gonna get
message,
like a useless message.
Yes,
yeah.
The error message would be basically just assertion failed.
Right.
Well, no, in that case it would say expected false, expected true find false. That's useful.
Right. Okay.
And so we have to always create methods for all possible checks, just so we can have an actual error message. So if now I run it and it fails, you can see that the error message is actually useful because it says what the collection is and what the element I wanted to put in is. So that's useful. And this is called an assertion library, and there are many of them. This is Kotlin test, which is the official one.
Yes.
So this is Kotlin test, which is the official one. Here's StreetK, which is another one that's very popular. So as you can see, what I do in the StreetK world, and that's inspired by Assert, I believe, from the Java world. And so you expect that something, and then they replicated all possible method on that thing on the object returned by that. So this returns, I believe it's called assertion builder or something like that, which is an object that is parameterized by the type of the thing you passed, and they replicated all methods for all possible types of the standard library. And that's a pain.
Makes sense.
Like as a library developer,
I mean,
that's way too much work to do. And the API surface is like immense. All of that so you can have an error message that is not completely useless.
Sure.
And now I'm going to show you PowerAssert. So what PowerAssert does, first what it is, PowerAssert is a compiler plugin that analyzes your code and rewrites assertions. So if I write hello 3 in list of hello 1, hello 2, what do you think is the assertion going to look like?
So check is from PowerAssert?
Is it?
No, check is the standard check function from the standard library.
So that's just going to throw an exception false or something, yeah.
That is going to throw an exception, but it's better than that. That's
the
wrong one. This is the error message. So it does throw an illegal state exception, but what it has done is that it replaced, so here in the check function, you can optionally put a message.
That's really nice.
Like you can actually put a message. And what the compiler plugin does is it actually generates a message, a string builder in that, in that message argument that uses all the intermediary values from whatever condition you put. And so you can put whatever condition you want, that is Kotlin, And what it does is for every function call that is in there, it creates a temporary variable and then prints that.
Nice.
And so it works for literally any Kotlin code you may want to write. And what it shows you, and it gives you all the intermediary results. And this is much easier to read, of course.
Yes.
But now I can do something like check sequence of... The problem is printing a sequence doesn't work really well because they are lazy. So I'll take the first 20, I'll drop the first 3. I'll filter, I only want the values that are even. And then that's a list, and I'll take the first one. Okay. And I want this to be equal to what is going to be. I drop the first 3, so it's going to be 4, right? Okay.
Which is something wrong, right?
4 is right, no?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but you need to choose something wrong to get the message.
Yeah, 5 would be wrong.
That's...
And I will get another message that is broken. Okay, so multi-line stuff.
Too bad.
Okay, so multi-line stuff doesn't work yet.
It's the TTY that's
It is still very new.
Us testing library authors don't have to worry quite yet, but it does look like maybe eventually we don't have to keep updating what we're writing if this is coming.
Okay, so
that's very nice.
Because
if it's in single line, okay.
I have to list it. So
okay, yeah. As you said, it can't really print the sequences.
Yeah, you can't print sequences because they're lazy. And so here you can see the original one can't do anything about it.
Oh, that's great.
And so you can see that the result of take 20 is the first 19, and then the result of to list, etc. And so
this is an official compiler plugin from the IntelliJ team?
Yes, so it's
nice
from the Kotlin team actually. So if you go on the Kotlin website, it's documented directly on the Kotlin website.
Okay.
Did I change the cookie thing? It didn't look like this before.
And
so there's a bit of config. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna maybe sound a little contrarian, but when you showed me strict at first, I really like the approach they took to writing their assertions. I think it's a really elegant way of writing that really matches the philosophy of Kotlin to read, because the thing that Kotlin is reading correctly and reading like language, and that's one thing it can do with extension functions, but you can't do it in a lot of other languages because you have to change reading order to account for function arguments, and this really works well with that. But I suppose the reason you say you prefer power assert is because of the error output. So how does strict go about with its output as compared to power assert?
It's not exactly the same formatting, but here is an example.
I mean, you can go if you want. You could check out Truthish. I don't like. You can check out Truthish because I have. That's mine. Or do they have? I'm just saying. Oh yeah, no. That's what I want to show you. Like what the output looks like when it fails, right? Like if you look at the README, you can see. Okay. If you scroll down a bit, it should say there you go. Like that's an example. Although it's a little bit. You could hit Control+ a bit to zoom in on the output.
It doesn't zoom. Thanks, GitHub.
It doesn't zoom. Well, anyway, the idea is, you could do stuff like that. But I will agree, as the author of the library, what you have to do is you have to identify, the person wants to make assertions about maps, so you have to create a bunch of class logic around, how to understand maps or lists or arrays, versus if you could just write regular Kotlin code and it just works.
And the problem is because you have to create your own types. They don't get extension functions from the original type. So you have to duplicate the type, all the extension functions, etc. So your library starts to become very big. And as soon as something is missing from your library, it's going to be very painful for the users because they can't use it. So they have to walk around. I don't know exactly how you do it in Truthish.
I mean, you can create your own subject class, right? Like you can definitely extend it, but it requires, you have to write code that wraps code versus just dealing with the raw code itself.
StreetK has a pretty nice solution for that.
Okay.
Which is here, there's a get method, and you could put an expression in there, and when the test fails, it will print the code of what you put in the lambda.
Oh, really? Do they? Is it also a compiler plugin?
No, I checked how they do it, and the answer is when you call get, they throw an exception, get the stack trace from that to know the path of the file, and then read the source file.
What?
Great.
And
amazing.
they pass the source file to find the expression you put in the code.
That takes some goal. I'll admit.
Yeah, and it works.
I would say that tip is already
sometimes.
that it's worth watching this stream just to learn how they did that. I think we've proven the value of just today's chat by talking about how
But of course,
strict works.
I mean,
that's amazing. Yeah.
that only works on the JVM.